Hello everyone, just a warning, this video will contain spoilers for the 5.3 legendary questline. If you don't want any spoilers, please turn off the video and come back at a later time. This lore video was requested but also inspired by some of the comments on my legendary video. It became clear that not everyone has seen the birth of Wrathion and there was a bit of confusion as to how Deathwing could be his father. So, to understand the story, to understand Wrathion, we first have to take a look at his father and the Black Dragonflight.
What will our children learn from our mistakes?
Once upon a time, the Titans imprisoned the old gods and granted the 5 dragon aspects the power to protect Azeroth. Wrathion was chosen to be the guardian of the earth and he received his blessing from the Titan Kaskoroth. My blessing upon you will seem humble compared to those which have been bestowed upon the others. The managing of time, of life, of dreams and magic, I offer you the earth. The soil, the ground, the deep places. But know that the earth is the basis of all things. It is where we are rooted, where you must come from if you are to go to. Here is whence true strength comes, from deep places within the world and within oneself. It was this connection to the world that made Wrathion vulnerable to the whispers of the old gods, who lay imprisoned deep within the earth. They promised him power beyond his imagination if he served them. He began to dream of a world dominated by his Black Dragonflight, a world in which the other dragonflights ceased to exist and Ysera and Alexstrasza would be his slaves for mating. The creation of the Dragon Soul, also known as the Demon Soul, plays a huge part in Wrathion story. The creation of the Dragon Soul was around the time of the War of the Ancients, where Sargeras was trying to come to our world and the Burning Legion was invading for the first time. Wrathion convinced the other aspects to place a portion of their power inside the Dragon Soul so that they could use it against the Burning Legion.
It is done. All have given that which must be given. I now seal the Dragon Soul forever.
That terrible glow. Should that be? Tremble, mortals, before the coming of the end.
Yes.
It is a weapon like no other. It must be like no other.
His brood learned their lesson before too long. You will soon learn yours.
Unknown to the others was that Wrathion never gave up a portion of his powers, so he became the most powerful aspect of all. He used the Dragon Soul not only against the Burning Legion, but also the Keldorai and the other aspects. They tried to stop him of course, but the power of the Dragon Soul was incredible. They did force him to retreat, but with heavy casualties to all the Dragonflights, and his betrayal caused the other aspects to hide, even from each other. Because Wrathion was the only aspect that didn't place his powers in the Dragon Soul, he was the only aspect that could damage it. That also meant that the Dragon Soul could damage him and it corrupted his body. His body cracked open, revealing his molten heart, and magma and fire flowed off his chest. His eyes became a flaming red, demonstrating the magnitude of his powers and the depths of his evil. Goblins forced an adamantium armor for the master, and this armor is the only thing keeping Deathwing together. Thus was Deathwing the Destroyer born, and the Dragon Soul was renamed the Demon Soul. Eventually the Demon Soul would be stolen and it would be used to fuel the portal that would lead Sargeras into our world. Deathwing tried to reclaim the Demon Soul, but the old gods wanted it to be used to summon Sargeras, so they fought against their own puppets. The old gods hoped to escape their prison beneath the planets by amplifying this gateway and use those energies to escape.
Come, sister, it is time to end this. We will cleanse the Dragon Soul of the old god's dark influence.
It is too powerful.
How dare you touch my creation? It is mine! Mine!
Wrathion, what have you done? You have doomed us all to the madness of the old gods!
It is mine!
He is lost to us, sister. He is no
The power of the soul is tearing him apart!
I will not be denied!
The old gods protect the soul.
The link to the portal must be broken! Quickly, to Storm Rage!
As we know, the summoning of Sargeras failed and the land of Kalimdor split apart. Malfurion and the 4 remaining aspects placed a spell on the Demon Soul that would prevent Deathwing from ever using it again. They then hid it in a place where only the 4 dragons would find it, but not Deathwing. Or so they thought. Deathwing would find the demon soul, and the demon soul would play a constant part in the history of the dragons. I won't go into the details in this video, but it has done some terrible things, and even just the chain is still used today by Warlord Zila to control the proto-drakes for Gerash's army. Now you know how the Earth Warden Neltharion became Deathwing. The point of Deathwing's story is that he became as corrupted as could be. He was a master manipulator and he dreamed of ruling the world and the other aspects. This dream slowly transformed into a dream where he would just destroy all life, but it does show that even the aspects can be corrupted. He plotted many schemes, even transported some of his ex to Outland, and he took on the human form of Devil Prestor to manipulate the human affairs. He infiltrated the Alliance and he even managed to get King Tyrannus to engage him to his daughter. Yes, Arvis's sister, Kaelia Manifil, was planned to be wed to Deathwing. This would have all gone through was it not for Deathwing's defeat at Grimbatol, which destroyed the demon soul, restored the power of the aspects and forced Deathwing to hide and recover in Deepholm. During the Cataclysm, we travelled through time to get the Demon Soul back, because it has been destroyed in our time, and the Demon Soul was used to defeat Deathwing and prevent the Hour of Twilight. Deathwing, his prime consort, which is like his main mate amongst the dragons, was Sinfaria, also known as Sinestra or Lady Sinestra. After Neltharion's madness overtook him, the newly disfigured Deathwing attempted to mate with its consorts, causing Sinfaria a great deal of pain and leaving behind scars and burn marks. Now not just regular scars, no, these wounds would burn and cause her pain for the rest of her life. Can you imagine mating with Deathwing? Anyway, Sinfaria was the only mate known to have survived, and some of her well-known children are Neltharion, Onyxia and Sabilion. Sabilion was amongst the eggs that Deathwing transported to Outland. She is not the mother of Wrathion, but we'll get back to that later. First, let's take a quick look at what Onyxia and Neltharion have done. Onyxia took on the name of Lady Katrana Prestor and infiltrated the nobles of Stormwind. She was the one who advised the nobles to not pay the stonemasons, which caused them to rebel, and this led to the death of Varian, his wife. She was the one who orchestrated the kidnapping of Varian and his entire story until he returned to Stormwind. She was also the one who kidnapped Anduin and took him to her lair, when eventually they figured out that she was the Black Dragon Onyxia. Neltharion took on the name of Lord Victor Nefarius and he infiltrated the Dark Horde who lived in the Blackrock Mountains. He conducted experiments with the blood of the different dragonflights and he created the chromatic dragons. We killed him in Classic of course, but he was resurrected and returned in the Cataclysm to be taken down once again.
Let the games begin.
See how both of them didn't just outright go dragon form and kill everybody? Notice how they prefer to manipulate, rule behind the curtains and let their enemies weaken themselves before taking action. This is something the Black Dragonflight are masters at doing, and keep this in mind as we look at the story of Wrathion. We are the ones that created Wrathion, and it all began in the Badlands. You're sent to bring some supplies to a goblin named Ria. Ria then asks of you to gather wild black dragon eggs and black dragon whelp corpses. This seems like a strange request, but it turns out that Ria is actually Riastraza, a red dragon sent by Alexstrasza to find a cure for the corruption of the black dragons. She has captured Nyxandra and she's forcing her to lay eggs over and over again. Cruel? Perhaps, but not nearly as cruel as the treatment that their Dragonflight showed my mistress. By this she means, well, one example would be the time that Deathwing pointed the orcs to the demon soul. The orcs then used the demon soul to enslave Alexstrasza and force her to mate, lay eggs, and those children would become mounts for the orcs. Anyways, you then go and pick up 3 of Nyxandra her eggs, but she does put up a fight, so you need to beat her into submission before you can steal the eggs. You then take the 3 samples to Dr. Hieronymus Blem. He, unfortunately, finds traces of corruption in all 3 samples, but he has an idea. It's a long shot, but you're sent out to Dustwind Dig, where the Explorers League has discovered a new set of Titan ruins. The Titans are rumored to have created the dragons, so there might be something in there that can cleanse the corruption. You eventually find the device and you bring it to the doctor.
Off and away!
anomaly detected means that the devices picked up the deep corruption of the old gods and he managed to cleanse it. Now there is the first uncorrupted Black Dragon egg since millennia. Of course Deathwing and his flight are not happy with this and you're sent out to take them out before they find the egg and destroy it. Even Ixandra managed to escape and sadly you have to kill her. After all of this, Rhea invites you to the hidden clutch where the egg has been hidden. Deathwing was not happy and he burned everything. Rhea, the purified egg, all of it. You enter the cave to check if Rhea miraculously evaded Deathwing's flames, but all you find is a note. Heroes, if you are reading this, then my suspicions were correct. Deathwing has found us. The egg is destroyed, as am I. This was actually the plan from the beginning. You see, the egg that Deathwing destroyed was not the egg he sought. It was mine. The egg Rhea held in her hands was one of her own, and the doctor had already sent the purified egg away. He gives you Rhea's last egg, which says, please, take care of him for me. For 6 months we don't hear a thing about the egg, until the rogue legendary questline leads us to the Twilight Highlands. The egg was hidden there, but it was stolen by the thieves of Ravenhold. Mostras, a red dragon, takes you to Ravenhold to get the egg back.
Let's move out, friend. There's no time to lose. Cora Straza is understandably upset. Under her care was the one black dragon egg that we believe was free of the taint of Deathwing's corruption. And it was stolen away from us by thieves in the night. You've found for us our only lead. The rogues from Ravenhold are behind this. Ravenhold? It just doesn't make sense. A mongrel band of petty thieves? How did they even know about the egg? We'll get to the bottom of this. Someone with your skills is exactly what we need. What's the expression? To catch a thief, they say?
That's right, mortal. The prize you seek no longer sleeps within a shell. Here I am, in the flesh. I'm not some trophy for a red dragon's mantelpiece, and I'm never going back. Don't look so surprised. We dragons are conscious even within our shells. As I grew, I could hear the plotting and scheming. I was to be born a prisoner. But I'm one of a kind, a black dragon raised free from the taint of my father's corruption. And that's how I intend to stay free. Somehow, you managed to elude all of my guards. You slipped in here like a ghost. That makes you valuable to me. Let's talk.
Your Highness, we caught this beast snooping around the caves just outside the compound.
I'm not afraid of you! Wait, who are you?
You don't recognize your former prisoner?
Shall we execute him, my prince?
No. I want him to deliver a message to the Red Dragonflight. Tell them that I am free of my father's madness, and I will be free of them as well. I am to be left alone. This will be my first and only warning.
But Deathwing's minions may have you killed.
Deathwing's minions should be afraid of me. Get him out of here!
Ugh!
And Farad,
Yes, sir.
break his legs. Now then, my new friend, we have much to talk about. As you know, black dragons frequently disguise themselves as humanoids in order to tamper with mortal affairs. While the house of my mad father collapses around him, the few remaining black dragons have gone into hiding. But I can still sense them. My cowardly brothers and sisters will cause untold suffering if we allow them to stay in the shadows. Moreover, they are a threat to me.
Greetings. Go with honor, friend.
That is where you come in. Help us to slay them all, and I will reward you handsomely.
The egg is hatched and a badass Wrathion is born. He is pissed about what the Red Dragons did, but he's more concerned about his own dragonflight. He is the first and so far only uncorrupted Black Dragon, and he sends you to assassinate each and every one of them, including his own father.
It is done, friend. To my knowledge, I am the only black dragon who remains.
He says that to his knowledge, all of them are dead, but this is simply not true. An easy example is Sabellian, who can still be found in Outland. Blizzard has explained that although he has a connection to his brothers and sisters of the Black Dragonflight, he isn't all-knowing, and it is very possible that he can't sense the Black Dragons on a different planet.
I must go now. Disappear. Perhaps we will meet again. I hope we find ourselves on the same side. With the last of the Black Dragonflight destroyed, my destiny was in my own hands. I left the assassins of Ravenholt behind to seek my destiny elsewhere. There are rumors of a new land beyond the mists of the sea.
He found a land covered by mists, as did we, and he once again has legendary rewards for those willing to help him.
Very good. Let's talk. Tong, drinks please. My father, Deathwing, tried to destroy the whole of Azeroth. He was misguided, of course, but he was right about one thing. Our world is so fragile. We are a point of light in a universe of shadow, a candle in a tempest. Sometimes I think it was the very precariousness of our world that drove my father to madness. Ah, thank you, Tong. Now to my point. I believe we are headed towards a reckoning. And no, I am not talking about the current conflict between the Alliance and the Horde. Believe me, what Garrosh Hellscream achieved in Theramore is nothing compared to the horrors that are even now bearing down on our fragile home. But the war deeply troubles me. Do you see my concern? A divided Azeroth cannot possibly stand against the darkness. This war has to end soon, before it consumes our strength. I want you to know that your alliance has my full and unwavering support in this campaign. How do we bring a swift and decisive end to the conflict? I believe the answer lies with heroes like you. We must ensure that you are up to the task, and then equip you accordingly.
He has seen a vision of the Burning Legion returning, and he's concerned that the divided Azeroth will not be able to stand against the might of the Burning Legion. He also tells each faction that his allegiance lies with them, no matter if the Horde or Alliance. And so follow the events of Pandaria, of which I already made videos going into details. He judges you, judges your faction's leader, creates a lance, tells you to kill the Thunder King, uncovers the secrets of the Titans, eats a Titan's heart, and he seeks the blessing of the 4 Celestials of Pandaria. During their challenges, the image of Deathwing appears.
Let the challenge begin! Hero, you must defend the Black Prince while he faces his inner turmoil.
I am a black dragon. I won't need any help.
Is that so? You are filled with doubts and fears, young prince. Face your inner demons. Now is the time.
What? Wait. Father? Please, don't make me do this.
But is Deathwing truly his father? Remember that Sinfaria is the only black dragon who has survived mating with Deathwing. It was the egg of Nyxandra that was used in the creation of Wrathion as egg, so we can be fairly certain that she was his mother. But we also used 3 other things. A wild black dragon egg, the corpse of a black dragon whelp, and this strange titanic device that removed the old god's corruption. A possible explanation could be that the egg was the egg of Sinfaria, the whelp was the son of Deathwing, or he refers to Deathwing as his father, because Deathwing is like the godfather of all black dragons. Of course, you could also think that Blizzard messed up, and Wrathion would be a lot less interesting if he wasn't related to Deathwing, but it's up to you to decide what is true. A couple of you also said or asked, can Wrathion be trusted?
What are you talking about? I don't trust you. You are wise not to.
Remember how good the Black Dragonflight is at manipulating, and notice how Wrathion is playing both factions like a boss. I did a theory video a while back on Garrosh, Wrathion and Anduin, and it would be amazing if it would come true, but I'm terrible at guessing. I think the simple answer is that Wrathion is an Earth Warden. As long as we are useful in the preservation of the world, he won't kill us. There is no doubt in my mind that when the moment comes that we stand in the way of the good of Azeroth, that he will hunt us down and kill us one by one.
Pandaria is indeed a jewel. Such beauty. It makes you want to protect her, yes? I feel the same way about Azeroth herself.
I hope now you understand the limits of strength without vision. It is one thing to change the world, but quite another to do what is right. Young Prince, I hope you take this lesson to heart.
I am pleased that our hero is still alive. Thank you for your blessing, mighty tiger.
Notice how he doesn't accept the wisdom of the White Tiger, and I think that defines him. The good of Azeroth, the good of the world above everything else, even doing what some might not consider to be right. Some have asked how Wrathion compares to the other aspects since they're now mortal, and I think this is a little bit tricky. Wrathion is something unique, yeah? He's an uncorrupted black dragon created with the use of an unknown titanic device. I don't think he has the same powers as his father had, but he is very powerful. I think you could compare him to the aspects, now that they are mortals, but he isn't an aspect. He wasn't granted titanic powers like the original aspects have received, and he didn't go through a power transfer ritual like Caligos did. Also, for clarification, Thrall, as he teamed up with the aspects to defeat Deathwing, also never truly became an aspect himself. The final question you guys asked me was, what will happen next? Once again, I'm terrible at guessing, but if I have to, for the legendary quest, I think we go back to the engine of Nalashka. That's the location where Lei Shen found Raden, and that's also the location where he took his powers. It's the location where Lorewalker Cho had his moment of clarity, much like Wrathion did during the 5.3 questline. What did Lorewalker Cho see there, and what was Raden trying to do that kept him in there for so long? Is that perhaps the location of the final Titan? It's either that location or something completely new that opened up in 5.4. As a reward, I think we will upgrade our cloaks. There have been some data mined class specific legendaries at the very beginning of MoB, but I mean, he says we're going to augment the cloak, so I'm going to trust his word on this one.
Very soon, we will be able to augment your cloak with my own formidable draconic powers.
Then, for the next expansion, All we know is that the Burning Legion is returning, and we're not even certain if it's the next expansion or the one after that.
Great Crane, you have not seen what I have seen.
You underestimate me.
The fires that once burned the sky will return. It is inevitable. The Burning Legion will find Azeroth. Seas of blood, cities in ruin. Who are we, one divided world, to stand against a legion? You speak of hope. Believe me, the thinnest sliver of belief that we might somehow survive the coming devastation is all that sustains me.
At this point in time, it could be anything, and more will become clear at BlizzCon. Question remains, will Wrathion at some point listen to the same whispers as his father had? Like I said, he isn't an aspect, and yet he is an Earth Warden. Old gods can corrupt even the most pure beings, so anything goes, and Anduin, his beloved companion, might one day become our enemy. I hope you all enjoyed the story, and if you want more information, I've placed a couple of links in the description. I love your lore requests, it gives me some great ideas for lore videos, and I always put them on the list. I don't promise a thing, but I will do my best. As always, thank you very much for watching, subscribe if you like my videos, and until next time guys, see ya!